Most people think that their website lives on the internet, but it doesn't. It lives on a server. And this small misunderstanding is the reason why so many websites struggle and business owners don't even know why. It's not about your color scheme, it's not about your template. It's about your foundation. Your website doesn't live on Google, and it doesn't live on the internet in most ways that people think. It's on a server, and this server is responsible of knowing how fast your website load, how stable it is, and most importantly, how strong that foundation is. If your server is weak, chances are your website is weak as well. One of the most important things to me as a web designer is website speed. And I say this because it's beyond me. It's literally what Google or any search engine look at. So if someone goes to your website and for some reason they're sitting there and the website just won't load, that signals to Google that, hey, this isn't a good user experience. So once they click off, and people keep clicking off when they go to your website because they're somewhat impatient as well, Google is going to signal that, and that's going to tell them, hey, don't send people that way because that website, they don't have a good user experience. Their site doesn't load slow and people are going to probably click off anyways. And I know like a lot of times it's hard for us to tell, how do I know if my website loads quick? There's so many different tools that you can do Google page speed. With Google page speed, you can put your URL in and it will tell you how quickly your website load. Now, speaking of website load, it's very important that the hosting that you're on, it's not cheap or it's not free, because chances are if it's cheap, if you're paying $5 or even $10 for hosting, chances are you have a very slow website. I remember when I first started building websites, I didn't really understand. No one really explained the back end things to me. So I went through a process where I tried every single thing to try to get my website to load fast. I optimized my pictures. I got different plugins. Nothing really worked. So that's when I realized, hey, maybe it's the platform that I'm on. The more research that I did, the more I realized that there are so many hosting companies out there that actually take pride in their websites loading fast. So once I discovered that, that's when I realized that your hosting really matters. Cheap hosting will hurt you way more than you think. So speaking of hosting, one of the things that people will ask me a lot is, how come one person who might be on the same platform as them perform better? So let's say, for example, you have a friend who has a Shopify store and they're killing it, and then you have a Shopify store and you're just not getting the same type of traffic or exposure. It's probably because of their infrastructure. So you have to think of different things. Has this person built a community? Because if they've already built a community, they don't have to really do much work on the back end to build SEO to get that organic traffic from Google. But if they don't have organic traffic, then they have to, pretty much start from scratch. So your success will look different than theirs because they probably already had a starting point where you're starting from scratch. But the issue is a lot of times, someone will just make a website and that's it. They're not taking the next step to make sure that they're creating a system. They're not looking at their data to make sure, hey, where are people clicking? Where are people spending more time? How can I make this, more appealing for user experience? How can I help this be more conversion based? And I think a lot of times we look at someone on the same platform as us, not realizing that their foundation might be different, right? Okay. So then, your website should pretty much be a system, not a whole bunch of pages. And that feeds off what I was saying previously. So when I redid my website a couple years ago, I was doing something that I was just trying to add as many stuff that I can add about digital marketing and websites and SEO, but I didn't have a clear structure. And while Google understood my website, it did hold me back, because had I just spent time into my structure and making sure that, hey, I start with one thing, I'm clear, and I add and I just keep building as I go, I would be a lot further now than just putting a whole bunch of pages on there with no clear plan. So I see it all the time. Someone might decide, hey, I'm going to start writing blogs. Don't just start writing blogs to write blogs, right? Make sure that you're writing it with purpose. Make sure that you're adding those keywords and you're structuring your blogs so that Google can realize that, hey, this person knows what they're talking about. Let's keep sending people their way. Most website problems aren't obvious because they're foundational. But once you start to understand servers and website speed, and most importantly, your website structure, everything starts to make sense. You're not alone. Many business owners struggle with this. They struggle with understanding why so many different things are happening. But once you really start to understand the different moving parts, it all starts to make sense and you start to move differently. That's why, again, I'm so big on a pretty website is not a profitable website. Focus on your foundation, focus on your structure, and it will save you so much headache in the long run.